My name is Hilary Johns. I live in Irimpool, and I guess my main specialty for the show is fruit cakes. However, I do make nice lemon butter too. Beautiful local fresh fruit to start with, fresh dried fruit of course. A fair bit of care, and flavour is everything. The fruit has to be as close to the same size as possible, so you cut the sultanas to approximate the size of currants and your raisins and anything else. Glacéed cherries can be a little larger if you're using them, but basically your fruit should be all the same size so that you get a lovely even look across. When they cut the cake, you want a nice even look across the whole cake. So it has to be cooked to perfection, that is, not too dry, not too wet, and you don't know that because you take a whole cake in and the judges cut it, and so you've just got to cross your fingers and hope you've had it perfect. The other thing that the judges look at before they cut the cake is whether there are any cracks on the top, which would indicate that you've probably had the temperature a little higher than you should have. And that can vary, getting the right temperature can vary depending on the moistness of your cake to start with, and that can vary because of the moistness in the fruit. Just experience, I suppose, helps you out. I use scissors because I do each berry individually, and I have control over the size that I make the pieces. These are beautiful local golden sultanas straight off the block. Unprocessed actually. Here's one we prepared earlier. It smells delicious. There's a few bits of fruit have come off the top which would go against it. There's a couple of little cracks. It would all depend on how it cuts. And this has only been freshly made, whereas if you're going to enter a cake in this show, you usually make it at least 3 weeks beforehand so that all the flavours blend. What the judges do, they cut straight across the middle of the cake, which is if there's any faults, that's where they'll be. It hasn't cut real well because it is too fresh, but what the judges do, they then take a piece out and they taste test every one. Taste test. It does need to mature, but it tastes fine. There's not a lot of tricks or secrets. It's following the recipe when there's a recipe given and finding a good recipe for other ones that suits you and practicing.